stories. So for A-rated films, I see this as a solution for the inevitable thing to do about what people will witness from our having more cameras, more computers, more technology. Now kids have phones and stuff everywhere. So, more and more people wake up to witness synchronicity and the miracle that would be found with, wow, are they aware of me? They seem to be aligning themselves, or how they know about me. So from this, people may end up feeling responsible for creating maybe a bad echo or something like that, or having a sick mind that could be not as helpful for others sharing gravity. What I'm about to show you is basically other languages. This is what I witnessed as somebody who's making A-rated stories. Now, an A-rated story, the letter A means empathy. It means caring about people. But what an A-rated story would be, it would be a story made to connect to other people, so that the people watching the movie will be participating in sending the best echo, the most helpful echo for others sharing gravity, not only in the future, but in the past. And so it'll be non-violent. It'll be finding non-violent solutions, resolutions, and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be like a murder mystery. It wouldn't be even G-rated. Even that would be, because we have been teaching that people were aware of reality when we weren't. We were not aware of reality. And in the history books, the news, it should be fixed. It should be fixed so that people are not taught that others were aware, because they weren't. They were not aware. When a person, okay, right now, where am I? Where is East? Where is East? Let's see. Oh my God, sure. Where is East right now? I'm not stopping listening. Interesting. At this library. Okay. Okay, there it is. This library here. And so that street outside is Brighton. Right on. Okay, so it'd be over there. And so East would be right. East would be that way. So let's say that there was garbage right here. And this over here was clean and open. While here, I would be having negative thoughts, seeing negative things, sending more thoughts in the garbage. That's where it's moving. Over here, I'm going to have cleaner, healthier thoughts. Because the garbage is not there, it's just the sun. So, while people were working on films, they were sometimes found west of garbage. While people were working on games, video games, the same thing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Just doubt yourself in those areas. And we may be using our instinct, and for some reason it's maybe more helpful sometimes, but for the most part, where you're working, wherever your workstation is set up, I would, make sure that it's always clean where the sun is rising, because we are moving. We are moving. The planet is moving. We are heavier. We are ascending. Everything's smaller. So an A-rated story would be basically participating in creating echoes for those sharing gravity in the past. So, to create this story, let me show you an example. This is an example, and the reason that my channel is called Atom of Language. It's called Atom of Language because it is measuring how other languages are responding to me. Now, this is something more and more people will witness who are working on something important. The more helpful that can be, actually. I mean, people from using a Google Translator, and as they're working, they will witness a miracle sometimes. How it will have to do with what's going on, or it will try to help that location because of how gravity works. People are always doing this. So basically what I'm saying is that if you have several musicians and they're all making noise, they're supposed to help their location the most. That's what people are supposed to do. For others that are sharing space with us, we are supposed to make sure that we are the best here. So you want to make sure that everyone else is the best, that they actually believe it in their location, and that they are working on making it better. But that would be the best, most helpful echo to send for those sharing space. So, as you can see, there could be a tribe in Africa that has rings around the neck because of maybe sharing ghosts with the giraffe or something like that. How embarrassing, right? But there are also other people sharing gravity with us as well. And before them, there would be animals queuing their one life for themselves and their location. So this would mean that they might have timed their one life to help themselves and go against us if we are going to do something that holds them back. So it's important for us to remain true to our old beliefs. That would be our old beliefs. That would be earning the food that we eat. Earning the food that we eat. Okay, so what I would show you here, let's show you here. So right now, I'm going to find a translator. Okay, so now here's an example of how to make a narrated story. So I'm trying to send the most positive echo. So I thought of a story that I believe my ancestors may have helped with. So, Chinese men cross a finish line. Chinese deserters cross the finish line and entered the heavens. That would be another word for the north. Their weapons. Weapons that were used would be cursed and remade into something that was not supposed to be. So there's an example right there. The katanas piece were made as a result of the Great Wall being built to be delivered by to the head on each side, so that they meet and no more blood would be shed, and deserters would stop running. So basically, the Geisha network was used to to make sure that the timing was right when waking up everyone. And the katanas and the most powerful katanas crafted by the most true gods and goddesses were delivered with scrolls or hides, that shown the story from heavens, how the strokes made the stars, and the hammer, how the hammer, how the greatest hammer found in the highest heaven created the stars in the sky, because it was a tail, it was a tail of a whale. Okay, so here's, maybe I'm stuck on this part, right? So let's say I'm stuck on this part and I'm wondering what to do. So this is basically what I would do. Okay, so I got this. I bring it over here. And now I'm going to go to Chinese and traditional. And I'm going to hit this swap languages a couple times to see if it changes. So Chinese deserters crossed a finish line and entered the heavens. Okay, so we'll keep this. Now let's see if this changes anywhere. So what other countries would be involved? Japan, because that's the other side of the wall. Let's do Ukraine, I guess. It's over there. Okay, so now it's changed a little bit. No, not really. So now we'll go to Russia. Chinese deserters crossed a finish line and entered the heavens. And so this one right here is not being changed. Why? Because those languages were not changing things. And so by measuring how it changes it, you can try to find the most helpful echo to send so that greatest chance of a person not hurting themselves or other people is found by sharing the story that people will be watching in the future and potentially participating in making it real in the past. That would be true. Because of the speed of light, that would be true. So that means, inevitably, once A-rated films become a thing, people might say that all other types of films are bad. And so, before the thought police come out, I would suggest R-rated additions to films, to already existing films. And that would be adding a 5 to 15 minute segment that shows people, that wakes them up to how all the humans in the story were unaware of reality. And all of their decisions were actually made by non-human influences in a way. But the person there was the one deciding to cross the line somewhere. Right? No, or going with the flow when they didn't have to. Right? So let's go back here to the Chinese. And let's go back over here. These deserters. And now let's measure this. So now we'll try to see where this changes. Now that's a lot of stuff to write. Weapons that were used would be cursed and remade into something that was not supposed to be used on a person. Okay, so I better rewrite this, right? It's obvious that I'm messing up here. Weapons that were weapons used on a person would be cursed. Weapons are cursed when they are used on a person, so they would be recrafted by the truest. So they would be recrafted. And this was how katanas of peace were made by the truest gods and goddesses, by the one true God. Maybe I shouldn't say that, because it's going to be a male whale. By the one true God, the highest heavens. Because, okay, I'll just say that. Right? So now, okay, so now it's become this. So let's see what happens. Weapons are cursed when they are used on a person, so they would be recrafted, and this was how the katanas of peace were made by the one true God of the highest heavens. And now let's see how this would be changed. Finnish. Does a Finnish language change this language? I mean, change this language. Does what I'm doing change the language? Yeah, witness that possibility too. Weapons are cursed when they're used on a person. So weapons are cursed when they're used on a person, so they would be recrafted, and this was how the katanas of peace were made by the one true gods of the highest heavens. Okay, so we have that. And then, where would they be made? Norway, because that's the furthest north you could possibly find, where the magnets go. Russia, that could be true too. So let's try both. Let's see which one. Maybe they'll let us know somehow. The timing of my thoughts always seem to matter. And what I thought about there, as my eyes connected to this right here, was that we had a network with Russia that was schooling them, I guess. Because we shared the pentagram stuff. This would be accepted at Q. Where's Q? Where the people, so that the people have a choice. While trading the person. That's what it is now. It took a long time to get there. Really, though, if we are trying to send the most positive echo that would participate in making it the way that, we may know is the most helpful, I don't know, what would be better? What would be better? Because, if you don't really know about something, if you just assume that they are brutes that are going around killing people and raping and stuff like that, if you just assume that a caveman is going to pop a girl in the head and no romance involved, providing a hurtful echo that could be actually sending time thoughts to the caveman. He's going, what the heck is that? I would never do that. Those bugs were just trying to get me to do that. But it wasn't the bugs, was it? So, that could be real. Okay, so let's try Russia. So here we have this. And weapons are cursed. So that didn't change anything either. So now that's there now too. Yeah. Nobody makes love with that. with the one true God's wife. She's too large. And now this side, let's see the Japanese side. Okay, so now we have this. So now I have found something else that is can be used because I checked all of those languages. Does that make sense? Now you can see how this would change with the other languages. It's very interesting to see how they are responding, where they're taking things. And you will find the humanity. You will find I don't know how to describe it. The help. You'll find the help coming from people that are sleeping. You will find the proof that it's actually working, that you are actually participating in creating something that's a more helpful echo. So the katanas of peace were made as a result of the Great Wall being built to be delivered to the head found on each side, so that they meet and no more blood would be shed, and deserters would stop running. Into the heavens. Okay, so the katanas of peace were made as a result of the Great Wall being built. When piece were made as a result. The katanas apiece were made by recrafted katanas apiece made from these. Well, maybe we shouldn't share whether or not they had blood on them. The crafted katanas apiece made from weapons that came from the deserters. The recrafted katanas apiece were made from weapons that came from the deserters as a result of the Great Wall built in China. As a result of the Great Wall. As a result of the Great Wall. As a result of the Great. Building the Great Wall of China. To be delivered to the head found on each side, so that to maximize the chances no bloodshed would happen between the people both sides. Maybe something like that. The recrafted katanas apiece were made from weapons that came from the deserters as a result of building the Great Wall of China to be delivered to the head found on each side to maximize the chances that no more bloodshed would happen between the people found on both sides. That's a lot to say. How can I shorten that? Maybe I should say delivered on each side. For maximizing the chances that to the leader of each side. Okay. Maybe that. Be delivered to each side for maximizing. And now, let's go to Chinese traditional. The recrafted katanas apiece were made from weapons that came from the deserters as a result of building the Great Wall of China. Okay. So, there are other translators. So, nothing wrong with checking other ones too. The reforged piece katana was made from weapons. Let's see, so their side shows one, changed it to 1. So now I know that in this story, he didn't know that the other side had 1 as well. Maybe that's true. Maybe he wouldn't have believed it. Maybe he was too, maybe the bugs and the bacteria would have constantly sent him the thoughts. No, he would be a monster. Don't trust him. So there's an example. And now you know. This is how I'm making what I call A-rated stories.